Marshall Faulk, NFL Network analyst. And it's Marshall Faulk, A Football Life, premieres this Friday at 9 Eastern on the NFL Network. Also Thursday Night Football. It'll be the Buccaneers and the Rams at 8:25 Eastern on the NFL Network. Marshall, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How you doing, Dan?
Good. We were just talking about, we have a new category here. It's the Best Non-Quarterback Award. So it's the MVNQ, the Most Valuable Non-Quarterback.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, who would you have as your most valuable non-quarterback?
Oh man. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Obviously, try to find out how Minnesota's winning games without Adrian Peterson.
What about, we had Gronk in there, Odell Beckham Jr., Kuechly.
I was about to go to those two guys. Well, if you allow defensive players to be in there, then you go Kuechly, then you go Tyrann Mathieu, because he does so much for Arizona. Definitely Gronk. You saw the difference with him in the lineup and out of the lineup. I would even say Edelman. You know, it's crazy how different things look on third down without Edelman in the game for Tom Brady. But yeah, that would be a good award. That would be a good award because it's hard. The quarterback touched the ball every snap. I mean, it's kind of an unfair advantage for him when you think about the MVP for him not to win it.
Well, I could probably throw in Jordy Nelson in there, considering what Green Bay's offense is like without him, without a deep threat.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention when you look at how much Aaron Rodgers has been harassed, just the fact that he's been able to win football games the way that he has with the offense aligned. No Jordy Nelson. That obviously people won't let you do that, but I hear it. I would go for that.
Is Carolina a great team?
Yes, a great. You know what? That right there. Are they a great team? Yes, together. They play so well together, defensively, offensively. You can't, and we always do this thing on Sunday morning when we're doing game day morning, tail of the tape, where we take two teams that get ready to play each other, and we let's do the quarterback, the running back, the defenses, the coaches, the wide receivers, tight ends. Who would you pick? And it's rare that you would pick somebody outside of maybe Cam and maybe the defense. But when you think about them and how they play collectively, it's hard. It's hard to kind of evaluate them or assess them. I keep telling people they do two things better than anybody else in the league. They block better than you, and they tackle better than you. That's it. That's what they do. Nothing fancy. They just block better than you, and they tackle better than you.
Is that enough to win a Super Bowl?
Yes. Because those two things are the things that win you Super Bowls.
Did you ever give me a team that you faced that couldn't tackle?
Oh man, that's gonna make it tough. And I'm not gonna say that they could not tackle. It wasn't. They were so busy with getting lined up and not making mistakes that the tackling part of things was just kind of like, okay, let's not worry about that. That's probably, that's what, that's what Arizona used to look like back in the late 90s, early 2000s. That
they couldn't tackle or didn't want to tackle?
That's That I didn't know. I wasn't in their locker room, but I mean, you go out there and they miss tackles. They miss tackles, and usually when you ask guys to do things or ask guys to do too many things, and they're thinking out on the football field, the things that come natural in the game of football are the things that you forget how to do, like tackling, like catching the football.
I don't think guys they look for style points on tackles that nobody wraps you up. It's rare when guys wrap you up with form tackling. Everything is they kind of launch themselves. They go to your knees to kind of just trip you up, or they're going up top to have the knockout shot. Guys don't just.
I would agree with that.
Right? I mean, you go back and look at old NFL films, and guys would they'd have form tackling, like they'd wrap you up and plant you in the ground. Now these guys, but and I said that the advent of ESPN with highlights and making a name for yourself, and the only way a defensive player makes a name for himself is a sack, an interception, or a big hit. And
right? I would agree with that. Dan, we were talking about this the other night, watching the Patriots and Houston play. If Jadeveon Clowney doesn't have that big hit, is he the number one pick?
No. No, but that's how we view players. Like Odell Beckham had the catch against the Cowboys, and then all of a sudden he became a household name, and everybody's trying to imitate him. But that's paid off, whereas Clowney has never lived up to the hit against Michigan in the Outback.
Right. At least with Odell, you see consistency in other parts of the game, whereas guys that played receiver, they evaluate him and they say, this kid here, he has skills to where he could be a good receiver. And no knock on Clowney. Obviously, he's been injured. We are still waiting to find out. We want to see. We want to see. I mean, it can't be any easier when J.J. Watt is playing on the other side of you that you're not going to get double teamed.
Yeah. But if I gave them,
there's Big Vince Wilfork is in the middle.
If I gave them,
buddy.
If I gave them a mulligan, and they could have Bortles or they could have Khalil Mack, who does Houston take?
Man,
Sammy Watkins, Mike Evans.
I'm gonna say Bortles, because that team would be closer with Bortles right now. I think that they would be a lot closer.
We're talking to Marshall Faulk, the NFL Network. A Football Life premieres Friday at 9 Eastern on the NFL Network. Also, the Thursday night game, Buccaneers-Rams at 8:25 Eastern. Peyton Manning's back at practice. You had this unbelievably important game against Pittsburgh. And this is the biggest start of Brock Osweiler's young career here. What do you think Peyton Manning is rooting for in that game? Honestly, though. Obviously that they win.
The Peyton, right. The Peyton that I know, a win. But he wants a win, without a doubt.
But what else?
But if I am, if it's me, if I'm, I want to be the guy that's playing, regardless of how they win or what happens next week. I want to make sure that I have an opportunity to get my job back and go in and play.
But let's say Osweiler throws for
regardless of what Brock does, I want to go in. I want a chance to go in and play well and have all the things that we see this offense. I just want to go in and play well, because it's not like they're scoring more points. It's not like they're more efficient with Osweiler. The only thing that they have done is ran the ball more, and maybe more yards, more times and more yards running the ball. Outside of that, defensively they've given up more yards, and they've given up more points, and offensively they've scored less points.
Yeah, but if Osweiler plays well, though, Marsh, I mean,
I hear you.
Right? I don't know.
This is the one time, Dan, that I do not envy being John Elway or Derek Kubiak. And it's not because you're pulling Peyton Manning. I just don't think there's a right decision to make. I think regardless of which decision you make, you're damned.
All right, before I let you go, you're from New Orleans. Let me throw out this theory. This is just a wild theory. Tony Dungy didn't totally dismiss it. Let's say Peyton plays one more year. Let's say Sean Payton is gone from New Orleans and Drew Brees relocates as well. Could you see Peyton Manning playing one more year and playing in New Orleans?
I could see that, but I'm sure you know this by now, as well as I do. Peyton and Eli will never play in the same conference.
So Eli retires, allowing Peyton then to play in New Orleans is what you're saying.
There you go. Now you really want me to start something?
Yes.
Now just have the Mannings take over New York and put Peyton with the Jets next year with Todd Bowles' defense.
Now you're spicing it up.
All right?
Yeah.
Now think all the direct TV commercials and all the commercials you have with Eli and Peyton in New York. Think about that.
And Peyton might be able to get more endorsements in New York as well.
If that's even possible. Are you kidding me? How many more Papa John commercials can they shoot?
And then J.J. Watt's going to want to get traded to the Jets or the Giants just so he can get more endorsements as well.
Right. But can you see that?
Yeah, well, sure. I can see it all. Yeah, sure.
And now, based on what you saw, Brock Osweiler turn into behind Peyton Manning, you expect Bryce Petty to turn into behind Peyton Manning.
That's a walk-off, Marshall.
I'm just saying.
No, I like that. Marshall Faulk, A Football Life, Friday at 9 Eastern, and Thursday night on the NFL Network, Buccaneers and the Rams. Marsh, good to catch up with you again.
Same here, man. Nice talking to you.
That's Marshall Faulk.